I tried the top 10 protein bars in the market and I ranked them from best to worst so you don't have to. Let's see. That's sweet. This is really good. Nope. That one has like a taste, I think it's like a 5 out of 10. See, protein bars are a convenient way to boost your protein intake, but not all protein bars are created equal. If you've ever taken a look, you know there's so many options to choose from, so you might have a few questions. Are protein bars healthy? Will they help you lose weight? And if so, which ones should I be getting? Today I'm doing a whole protein bar test and I'm going to tell you which are the best and which are the worst. I'm going to be ranking 10 different bars. You're going to see here 11, but I'm going to tell you why. On a scale 1 to 10, considering the ingredients, the nutritional quality, the taste, and along with that, an overall rating that brings all the scores together. So if you want to find out which of these protein bars to buy and which ones are a waste of money, make sure you keep watching. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Andres Ayesta. I'm a registered dietitian who makes weight loss simpler for you and more convenient for busy people. Specifically, I work mainly with dads like myself to help cut the BS diet trends and drop fat permanently without feeling restricted with their diet or spending hours in the gym not doing the right things. So if you are on a fat loss journey or health journey right now, make sure you hit subscribe to my channel for science-backed fat loss advice and tons of tips that you can put into action right away. And I promise I don't do any fear-mongering or any kind of crazy claims in here. Everything I do, it's based on research. Now in today's video, we're talking about protein bars. Not only that, we're also going to be testing them out to see which ones are the best and the worst based on flavor and in relationship to also your fat loss and fitness goals. Now to start, let's quickly define what a protein bar is. It seems like it's a pretty straightforward term, but a good protein bar should have anywhere between 10 to 30 grams of protein first, and I prefer it to have at least 15 grams. There are some plant-based and whole food options or whole food bars with 10 to 12 grams or so that can still be decent options, but anything below 10 grams is more of an energy or a snack bar, like Aloha bars, for example, which are mostly carbs and fat. That's why it's not here. Protein bars are great for hitting your daily protein goals, whether it's maybe for muscle gain, fat loss, or just to meet your daily intake, or for me, sometimes it's just a treat. Now, they're convenient and they can help you manage hunger because of the high protein content. However, you need to be careful not to overeat them just because they seem like a health food. Many bars are still high in calories, so eating too many of them can still lead to fat gain. In fact, some of them may have as many calories as a Snickers bar. Yes. So my recommendation, get most of your protein from whole foods first and use bars for convenience or like I do as a treat while keeping your calorie needs in mind. Now, there are many types of protein bars on the market. There's animal-based, like most of the ones you're gonna see in here. There's plant-based like Aloha. There's keto-friendly like a lot of the Quest bars. There's gluten-free and there's a ton more. Now, I ask my audience, the people on my Instagram channel, to share their favorite bars today, and we're gonna go through the popular ones to show you what to look for in terms of nutrition and taste. Now, for me, the key factors that I'm looking at is at least 12 to 15 grams of protein and less than 10 grams of fat. And finally, when it comes down to the functionality and the ingredients of all, we're gonna be looking at things like your sweeteners, because I recommend choosing bars with low amounts of added sugar, but also at the same time, we have to be careful with the sweeteners that they have because some of them can cause some gut issues or some digestive problems for some people. Now, in the bars we're going to be analyzing today, there's a list of sweeteners that you're going to find in them, and I split them up into 3 categories so you understand exactly what they are. First up, we're going to have natural sweeteners, which are things like honey, dates, coconut sugar, and monk fruit, although that goes through a little bit of processing. These come from whole food sources. They're a little bit less processed, and some even contain trace nutrients like vitamins and antioxidants. Sounds great, right? Well, the downside is that they're still gonna be higher in calories and sugar, so while they may be a better option than refined sugar, they can still spike your blood sugar levels and contribute to weight gain if overused because, well, they do have calories. And they're not always the best fit for low carb or diabetic diets, depending on what you're choosing, but they do have a more natural appeal, and typically the ones that use natural sweeteners like sugar, they tend to be a little bit more cleaner labels. And I don't like to use the word clean, but you know what I mean. Okay. The natural sweeteners you're gonna find in the bars that you're gonna see in here are gonna be honey in examples like the Perfect Bar. You're gonna find dates in options like the RX bars. You're gonna find coconut sugar and monk fruit in examples like the Aloha Bar, and you're gonna find some fructose in examples like the Power Crunch bar. Then we move on to artificial sweeteners. Now, the only one you're gonna find in these is sucralose sucralose, or also known as Splenda. These are calorie-free and won't spike your blood sugar at all, although there's controversy around them, which makes them great for weight management and people with diabetes or just people in general who do not want to get a ton of sugar in their diets. But they come with some concerns. There's research suggesting that they could negatively affect your gut health, even though that's still controversial, and even your metabolism over time. Again, very controversial. Plus, some people find that artificial sweetener aftertaste is a little bit hard to swallow, and it's a bit of a trade-off between cutting calories and potential long-term health risks. Now, for me, I'm gonna typically choose lower calories and some of these sweeteners instead. The only artificial sweetener you're gonna find in these bars is sucralose, which is, again, like the commercial brand name of this is Splenda, and you're gonna find it in things like the One bars. You're gonna see one in here. You're gonna find them in the Fit Crunch bars, which is this one in here. You're gonna find in your barbell bars or bear bell bars, and then you're gonna find this in the Think bars as well. And next, we're gonna talk about sugar alcohols like maltitol, erythritol, and sorbitol. These sweeteners are super low in calories and have minimal impact on your blood sugar levels. Some of them may have a bit of an effect on them, but probably very minimal, which makes them a very popular choice in low carb and keto bars, typically pastries and things like that. Now, here's the catch. Because they're not fully absorbed, sugar alcohols can ferment in the gut and sometimes cause digestive discomfort. You might find yourself having things like gas or bloating or diarrhea, especially if you consume sugar alcohols in large amounts. Some people are more sensitive to sugar alcohol, so you need to make sure you check the labels. And if any of these bars cause a lot of these, most likely you're pretty sensitive to that. I know there's some of these bars that I don't really tolerate very well. Now, erythritol tends to be a little bit more tolerated than others, but the problem of this is that some people don't really like the cooling aftertaste, which is that it's like a weird way to explain it unless you've tried it. You're gonna find the following sugar alcohols or polyalcohols in these bars. You're gonna find first maltitol. You're gonna find that in the One bars. You're gonna find it in the barbell bars. You're also gonna find that in the Think bars. You're gonna find erythritol in things like your Quest bars, the classic ones, which are gonna be this ones, and also your Quest Hero bars. And then you're also gonna find sorbitol in the Fit Crunch bars. And then we have a couple of sweeteners that I put into the other category. One of them is called isomaltol oligosaccharides, or also known as IMO, which act as a prebiotic fiber. And then we also have allulose, which is a rare sugar that your body doesn't necessarily absorb. Now, these are great for adding sweetness with fewer calories. In fact, allulose is as sweet as sugar. The way that sweeteners are typically ranked is how much sweeter or less sweeter are compared to table sugar. And they have a little impact on your blood sugar levels. But even these have their downsides. Like IMOs, for example, can cause also digestive issues, particularly because it's a fiber for some people. Well, in allulose, it's still pretty new, so we don't have a ton of long-term data on its effects, but I do think it's one of the better choices. That said, both can be good alternatives if you're trying to cut back on sugar, but you still want that sweetness. Now, you're gonna find some IMOs in the One bars, and then you're gonna find some allulose in the Quest Hero bars. As you can see, I mentioned some of these sweeteners, and I mentioned some bars repetitively because of the fact that some of these bars will contain a combination of sweeteners, not just one. Some of them do only have one, but some of these, probably the better tasting ones, are gonna have more than one. So you need to keep that in mind when you're trying and testing some of these bars, okay? Now, as I mentioned before, as we do this taste test, we're going to be breaking them down into 4 key areas: the label analysis, the nutritional profile, a taste test. We're going to try them all out, and we're also going to be looking at the overall rating. Now, we got some of the most popular brands in here, and we're going to be scoring each of them out based on these specific factors. Here's exactly how this test is going to go. Step 1, we're going to do a label analysis. We're going to start by analyzing the ingredients label. Then we're going to look at how clean these bars are. Now, I don't like to use the word clean, but when we refer to that, it's just how many ingredients that they have and how many of those ingredients are more natural. We're also going to be looking for artificial sweeteners and anything that stands out. The cleaner the label, the better the score. Second is going to be the nutritional profile. We're going to dive into the nutritional breakdown of these bars. We're going to be focusing on the protein content and making sure that the calories are in a reasonable range. We also want to see which bars are giving you the best bang for your buck when it comes down to protein without packing a lot of unnecessary calories. And step 3, we're going to do a taste test, which is where the fun part is going to be. I'm going to be really trying them all of them out, and you're going to see me reacting to them on camera. We're going to try all of these bars right here, giving you our honest reaction to the flavor, the texture, and how well they stack up to other bars. Now, some of these are known for being delicious, while others, well, we're going to find out. In step 4, the overall results, we're going to combine all these factors and the scorings, ingredients, nutrition, and taste, and we're going to give each bar an overall rating that is going to be out of 30 score. Now, this final score is going to tell you which protein bars are worth your money and which ones you might want to skip, but also we're going to give you the rankings based on each category. So now let's get into this review with the first protein bar that I'm going to try. We have arranged our order of bars. Let's get started. Okay, so first bar we're gonna try, it's gonna be the one and only, the One Bar. One Bar uses a blend of whey protein isolate. It also uses milk protein isolate for their protein content. Now their sweeteners are gonna be IMO, so isomaltose oligosaccharides. It also has maltitol and sucralose. So it has all of the sweeteners pretty much, which are low calorie but all artificial. Now the label is moderately clean as far as what it contains, but has a lot of processed sweeteners. So keep that in mind. Now, the macro profile of each bar is this one has 220 calories, 6 grams of fat, and 20 grams of protein. Now, depending on the flavor, I believe I did the research anywhere between 210 and 30, so not a whole lot, with only 1 gram of sugar, and it offers a pretty solid protein to calorie ratio, and I think it makes it a pretty efficient muscle maintenance I think it makes it a pretty good one for like at least muscle maintenance for fat loss as well, mostly because it doesn't really have a lot. It also has 7 grams of fiber. So let's give this one a try. I like to kind of like cut them out and see. Ooh. I have tried this one before. It's one of my favorites ones. So I may be biased around this. So let's give it a try. Chewy, sweet, a little bit of a creamy taste. I like it. Not a huge aftertaste. If you like chewy, you'll definitely like it. So, I'm gonna try to just have a bite. Label, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Nutritional profile, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Taste, I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10. I think total, if we add that up, 24 points out of 30. All right, we're gonna move on to the MedRx Big 100 bar. Now, this one is not included in the ratings because of the fact, and I'm gonna explain it to you here in a little bit, because it's more of a meal replacement bar. It's like way too many calories. This one has almost 400 calories, so it doesn't really fall in the protein bar category. So when you see bars like this, I wouldn't necessarily use them for purposes of replacement of a protein source, but rather as a meal replacer. So this one has soy protein isolate. It's like a protein blend, whey protein isolate. It has milk protein isolate, concentrate. It uses glucose, fructose, which again, like are processed and at the same time may raise your blood sugar significantly. This one has like almost 18 grams of added sugar. Total sugars is 20. So honestly, I would only use this for like an athlete post-training, like nothing else. So let's give it a try. Taste it out a little bit. No. Nope. Oh. That one has like a taste, I think it's like a 5 out of 10. I mean, it does have 30 to 32 grams of protein. So anyways, we're not going to include this in the rating. I just wanted to kind of show it to you because some people may use those bars as like a protein bar when in reality it's more like a little mini meal. Okay, let's move on to the Quest Bar Classic one. Now, Quest Bar uses a protein blend, milk protein isolate, whey protein isolate, sucralose as their main type of sweetener, and also polydextrose, which is a prebiotic fiber as well, and also uses erythritol. Now, the good thing about these are low-calorie alternatives without raising your blood sugar. It gives them probably one of the cleaner type of labels in here because it also doesn't have a ton of ingredients in terms of artificial additives. Macro profile, this one's have about 20 grams of protein. This one has 190 calories with low net carb amounts of 4 to 5 grams, depending on the one that you choose. Only 7 grams of sugar, alcohol, and 9 grams of fat. To be honest, I really like the protein to calorie ratio. I think it's excellent, and I think I would make them a go-to for fat loss or even muscle gain with minimal calories. So let's give it a try. I've tried Quest bars before. They're very gooey. I recommend you put this in the microwave for like 10 seconds. This one is chocolate peanut butter. Ooh, this is really good. Soft, not too chewy. It has chunks of chocolate in it. Okay, I need to stop. Scoring. Label, we're going to give it a 7 out of 10. Nutritional profile, I honestly feel like it has one of the better nutritional profiles, even though it uses some processed stuff. So let's give it a 10 out of 10, honestly. And taste, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Honestly, I think I'm going to increase my scoring to 7. So we're going to give this a total of 26 out of 30 points. Now we're going to switch over to the Barbell Bar, or Barbell Bar, so I don't know really what they call them. These ones are really good. I've tried them before. This one is a caramel and cashew. They use a milk, I think it's like a milk protein blend that has whey protein isolates and concentrates. It also has some collagen in it. It uses maltitol as their main sweetener and polydextrose. It also has a little bit of sucralose, so it has 3 different types of sweeteners. Now, well, it's free from added sugars and also doesn't have palm oils for the people that are a little freaked out about like those type of oils or artificial sweeteners. can maybe raising concerns about prioritizing gut health. And I know some people have tried these. It doesn't really sit well with their stomach. So you got to be careful. Macro profile, each bar provides about 20 grams of protein. That's a good thing. 190 to 200 calories, which is, this one is 200 calories. We have 8 grams of fat, 3 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and only 5 grams of sugar alcohol. So to be honest, I do like a lot the nutritional profile on this. So let's give it a taste test. Looks like a chocolate bar, to be honest. Chewy. It tastes a lot more like a chocolate bar, like a candy Snickers chocolate bar, to be honest. Yeah, this is good. It's been one of my favorites. Nutritional profile, I think I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. The label, 8 out of 10, because it still uses processed ingredients. Taste, I think we're gonna give it a 9. I think I like it a little bit better than the Quest. Total, we have 26 out of 30, so we may have a tie over there. Let's move on to Fit Crunch bars. This is the one we have right here. This is the ones I've been eating lately. Now, Fit Crunch bars use a combination of whey protein isolate and soy protein isolate. Now, for some of you guys that are against seed oils, you're definitely not gonna like this one because that's what they use. It uses sugar, maltitol. Yeah, this is honestly, guys, like the worst label. Sucralose. Yeah, it has like a ton of different stuff in it. Both artificial. It has some like actual sugars in it. It may raise concerns for people that experience digestive issues, but at the same time, overall, it has a ton of stuff in it, right? Now, this bar packs 16 grams of protein. So even not that how much for protein. 190 to some bars actually have up to 380 depending on the size that you're using because they have a larger size. Now the smaller bars can maybe provide a decent protein to calorie ratio. The larger ones are definitely more calorie dense. They're gonna be more like that one, the MetaRx that I just showed you guys, and definitely not ideal for lower calorie diets. The advantage is that they can actually be very cheap. You can find them at Costco at bulk, which is actually an advantage, and this is where we bought them in the past. But the label for sure, this is probably a 4 or 5 out of 10. Nutritional profile, probably like a 7. Let's give it a taste though. I mean, for a bar that has like all this stuff in it, most likely it's gonna be pretty good. I mean, the more processed, the better, right? Yeah, taste, probably like an 8.5. Let's just kind of give it an 8 out of 10. We're gonna get a total of 20 points to this one out of 30. Okay, cool. Before we get into the next bars, we're going to make a bit of an intermission here. I wanted to add that I know how hard it can be to take specific products like what I'm giving you in this video and figure out how to incorporate them into your diet in the bigger scheme of things to reach your goals, because weight loss is about more than just choosing the right food. So if you're not sure what to eat, how much to eat, how to build a plan for yourself to drop fat, gain muscle, as a dad, particularly men in your 30s and 40s and even 50s, I put together a really good training, if you really like the type of videos I create, that it goes in depth into how I use a 3-step system to help busy dads drop 20 to 30 pounds in as little as 12 to 16 weeks. And I'm gonna drop the link to that video, which is a free masterclass, right below, so you can go check it out. Now let's get back into our taste test and try out the last 5 bars that we have in here to give you a final scoring. Okay, now we have the one and only, the Quest Herob Bar. Quest Herob Bars have been making the top of my list, okay? They have a protein blend, like most of them, milk protein isolate, whey protein isolate, so limited on the proteins, which is something really good. And they're sweetened with something called allulose, which we talked about before, that it's a natural sugar that your body doesn't absorb. It's kind of weird. It also has soluble corn fiber, and it uses also erythritol as their main kind of sweetener. Both of them are actually low calorie, low glycemic alternatives, which is a good thing. So these are good options for avoiding artificial sweeteners, non-artificial sweeteners so far. The macro profile of each bar is, this one has 17 grams. This flavor is birthday cake. It has 17 grams of protein. It does have 6 grams of fat, 150 calories, giving it a really strong protein to calorie balance. It's ideal for those keeping your calories in check while maximizing protein intake. I mean, this has like almost like 40% less than a lot of these bars that we have tried. Okay, so let's give it a try and see what we think. This is what it looks like. That's sweet. That is very sweet, but sweet good. It is birthday cake after all. Definitely for replacing a candy bar. Label, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because of the fact they're not using artificial sweeteners. It does have a bit of a cooling aftertaste at the end. That's not something I'm a big fan of, but they kind of mask it well. Nutritional profile, I definitely think it's one of the better ones with a 9 out of 10. And taste, I'm definitely gonna say like 9 out of 10. I think this one gets about 27 points. Okay, now we're gonna switch over to the Perfect Bar. Now, Perfect Bars are made with whole food ingredients like peanut butter and milk powder. In fact, fact, they are so fresh that you have to refrigerate them. Peanut butter is their first ingredient, honey, non-fat dried milk. It has some whole egg powder, rice protein. It does not have any type of sweetener. I think the only sweeteners that they're using in here are, they're using honey. I said that second as the main sweetener. Now, what it's more of a natural option, it does have 19 grams of sugar coming from honey, so that's something to keep in mind. And they're also 340 calories. Some of them may be a little bit lower, some of them a little bit higher. This one has 17 grams of protein, so not ideal from the perspective of calorie density because they're going to be pretty packed. This is kind of nearing the meal replacement option, but at the same time, it's a small bar, so probably not something that is like massively huge when it comes down to that. Now, the fact that they use honey, which has a lower glycemic index, tells me that it's not going to spike your blood sugar as much, but it's just something else to consider. It has 3 grams of fiber. So I definitely think it's not a simple snack. I think more of a meal replacement. Let's give it a try. Okay, this has been out of the refrigerator for a while, so it's kind of like watery on the outside, but it's like peanut butter. Very strong honey taste. It's like you grab peanut butter and mix it up with honey and you made a bar out of that. Honestly, that's what this tastes like. Very strong peanut butter taste, very strong honey taste. They're good. My son likes them. They really likes them. I just think it's like honey and peanut butter. Scoring, label, obviously like an 8.5 out of 10. Nutritional profile, 5 out of 10 because I don't believe that's a protein bar. Also because of the fact that not all of their protein sources are animal-based or they're a higher quality base. And the taste of them, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. They're good, but it's like literally just chewing on like peanut butter and honey. So total for this one, I'm going to give it a 20 out of 30. Okay, we're going to switch over to a very famous one, which is the RX Bar. RX bars stick to very minimal whole food ingredients, using egg whites actually as their main protein source and dates as their natural sweeteners. They're really huge into just literally listing out like 4 ingredients only, which is really what they have. Well, in here they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, they're not putting the sea salt on there, but yeah, so it's literally dates, egg whites, cashews, almonds, chocolate, cocoa, natural flavors, and sea salt. These ones have 200 calories, 12 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat, 23 grams of carbohydrates, most of them actually sugars, and it has 5 grams of fiber. To be honest, this is probably one of the cleanest labels or one of the best labels from the perspective of ingredients because everything is like super, I mean, there's absolutely nothing non-natural about this. Probably the egg whites are powdered, but other than that, I think it's a great choice. Let's give it a try. Now, what is lower in protein than some bars, it is really a whole foods option. I think I really like to use RX bars before a workout or something like that, mostly because again, it's not like it has like a ton of protein. Like 12 grams is not really that much. Let's give it a try. This one is... What's the flavor of this one? Chocolate sea salt. A little bit harder. Crunchy. You can see the almonds in it. It wouldn't be my top choice for taste, for sure. Label, 10 out of 10, 100%. Nutritional profile, 7 out of 10, just because it doesn't really have that much protein. I think I would use that more like as a pre-workout energy. Taste, 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a 23 point out of 30. Call it a day. Now we're gonna switch over to Think Bars. I've actually never tried this one before, so I'm gonna see how it goes. This one is a cookies and cream. Now, Think Bars use the first ingredient. It's a protein blend, soy protein isolate, and whey protein. It has maltitol syrup, so it uses like a sugar alcohol in there, and it also uses that's only one of them. That's not too bad. It has like not that many ingredients, to be honest. They're sweetened again with maltitol, but the thing about it, because they're sweetened with maltitol, is it has 14 grams of sugar alcohol. So because they didn't really combine other sweeteners, most likely they had to add a ton of the one that they add. The macro profile on this one has 20 grams of protein. It has 230 calories. These bars offer actually a pretty good like protein to bar ratio, so that's not necessarily too bad. 9 grams of fat and 0 grams of fiber. So the fact that they're using like soy protein in it doesn't really kind of make me a big fan. So let's see what this looks like. It's white. I'm not a big fan of the taste. Slightly chewy. Now, it has like a weird, it's not even cookies and cream flavor. Nah, not a big fan. Label, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. No, the nutritional profile, I think is not too bad. So I'm gonna give it probably like a 6. And then the taste, definitely like a 5. So we're gonna give this, I think it's like an 18 out of 30. Not the biggest fan. Okay, we got 2 more to go. We have the Power Crunch bar. I used to love these. I don't usually eat them as much because I don't think they kind of sit well in my stomach. This one's a bit messy. Well, let me talk about it first. It uses a hydrolyzed whey protein isolate, which is something that you don't necessarily see very often. In fact, fact that they make sure that, you know, they use like a hydrolyzed protein, which is like just better absorption rates on it. So I do like the protein sources that they use. Peanut butter, sugar, fructose, maltodextrin, and stevia for sweetener. So it uses 4 kinds of different sweeteners. Now, the sweetener combination is relatively natural, but it still includes some processed sugars. It does have a very low protein to calorie ratio. This one's 215 calories and it has like 13 grams of protein. And the thing about these is like they have a lot of fat. These are like 13 grams of fat. So that's probably where most of the calories are coming from. Now, I know what this tastes like, but I haven't tried it in a while. It's one of the only bars that are kind of like crunchy. It's like a wafer. So if you like that kind of thing, these are really good. It does have like a weird aftertaste, but honestly, they're very, very tasty. Scoring, I'm gonna give the label 7 out of 10 because it definitely has a limited amount of sweeteners and some of them are natural. And definitely I like the protein profile of it, even though it's only 13 grams. I mean, you might as well put a little bit more on it. The nutritional profile, definitely I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Taste, I'm gonna give it an 8. I don't think it's the greatest, but at the same time, it's pretty good. Total for this one is gonna be 21 points. And then we have the Aloha Bar. Aloha is the only plant-based option that we included because somebody in my Instagram actually mentioned that I should try them out, and I've heard of them before. I never actually tried them. These are plant-based. They use a blend of brown rice protein and pumpkin seed protein. Now they're sweetened with monk fruit, which is the only one I've seen from the bars that we tested that they use monk fruit, and they also use coconut sugar. So they use a kind of like a natural one, which by the way, coconut sugar, it's processed the same way the regular sugar. So it's a great natural option for those that want to avoid artificial sweeteners and also that want to avoid any type of animal-based products. So that's definitely a good thing. It does contain peanuts. Each bar has about 14 grams of protein. They have about 240 calories and 12 grams of fat, which is a little bit higher for me, in my opinion. 24 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fiber. And I think the fiber is coming from tapioca, so that's not necessarily a bad thing. So most likely this bar may be very filling, but you got to be careful if it's kind of like, you know, something that affects your stomach. So let's give this a try because I've never actually tasted these ones before. They're kind of like chewy. I can even see like the little pumpkin seeds in there. A little chalky, which is expected with plant-based protein powders or bars in general. I'm going to give it, not as bad as I thought. Label, definitely a 9 out of 10. I mean, it's like all natural ingredients. Nutritional profile, I'm going to give it like a 7. I think it definitely doesn't have as much protein as we would want it to. And then keep in mind that it's a plant-based option. Taste, I was going to give it like I thought it was going to be more like a 5 or a 6. I'm going to give it a 7. So this one's going to come out with a 23 points out of 30. Whew, okay, I tried 10 different bars. That was a lot of protein bars, and I don't know how my stomach is going to feel about all this. Now, let's give a good round of applause to all of them. Yay, very good job, guys. Very, very good. Let's give the podium to some of these bars, shall we? The healthiest bar, the nutrition label scoring, it's going to be RX Bar. If you want like the healthiest, more natural option, the RX Bar is definitely going to be here with the Aloha Bar coming in second. The better macro profile bar is going to be the Quest Bar, the classic one. Very good job. This is one of the better ones that I feel like from the nutritional profile is the best. The tastier bar, which is there's going to be a tie between the Bear Bell Bar and Quest Herob Bar as far as tastes are concerned. Now, let's pick an overall winner so you know what to buy that combines all three things. Now, you should already know what to buy depending on your preference, what you're looking for. If you're just simply looking for the best overall that kind of hits all the things, even though some of them are going to have artificial sweeteners and whatnot, the winner is going to be Quest Herob Bars, guys. Honestly, it's one of my favorite ones. I still eat this every day. It's not because I'm biased. Honestly, I would have picked something different. I've been buying the Fit Crunch bars. I bought the One bars for a long time. My son eats like the perfect bars. Not biased. I honestly feel like it's good, and most people probably agree with that. Runner up, it's going to be Bear Bell Bars. Definitely a really good option. Third place is going to be the Quest Bar Classic again. Quest is making it. So Quest Classic are, honestly, they've reformulated these ones and taste-wise they're great. Fourth place, One Bar, which is the first one that we actually tested and tried. I definitely think it's a pretty good one as well. And fifth place is going to take it the RX Bar because honestly, we needed to have a natural option in here. This video was longer than we expected, but I'm hoping that you actually enjoyed it, that you got the best out of it. There you have it, 10 protein bars from worst to best with Quest Herob Bars coming in the first place. Now that you got my rankings, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Are there any bars in here you tried and didn't really include that you want my input on? Let me know what you thought of this video, and make sure you hit thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this one. My name is Andres, registered dietitian. It was a pleasure to serve you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Au revoir.